In the humble village of Lourdes, nestled in the French Pyrenees, lived a young girl who would one day change the world. Her family was poor, forced to live in a damp, cramped room, struggling each day just to survive. Often frail, uneducated, she was ridiculed by children of her age and overlooked by adults. Bernadette's weak health and lack of schooling made her seem insignificant in the eyes of others. Yet behind that fragile body was a heart full of faith and purity. On a cold February day in 1858, her life was forever changed. There, in the grotto of Massabielle, she saw a light unlike any other. Before her stood the Blessed Virgin Mary, radiant and pure, surrounded by light from heaven.
Oh, my lady.
The young girl trembled, yet felt an overwhelming peace she had never known. When she told her family, doubt and fear filled their hearts. The villagers mocked her, convinced it was nothing more than childish imagination. Even the parish priest demanded proof before he would believe. In the darkness, she turned to prayer, finding strength in silence and in faith. The vision returned, brighter, stronger, and filled her heart with hope. The lady spoke of prayer, of penance, of faith, a message for the world. Authorities, alarmed and suspicious, accused her of deceit, warning her to stop spreading what they called false vision. She became the target of ridicule, a symbol of division in her small village. Yet in solitude, she found strength in her unshakable belief. Despite opposition, she returned to the grotto, drawn by a call greater than fear. The lady spoke again of repentance and of a spring that would bring healing to the world. Her vision stirred both curiosity and anger. Whispers of doubt grew louder, and crowds demanded proof. The authorities accused her of lies, demanding she renounce her story. The village turned against her. Ridicule followed her every step. Still, her faith never wavered. She sought strength in prayer. Drawn again by the lady a call, she returned to the grotto. Despite threats and mockery, the Virgin appeared with greater radiance, speaking words of penance and prayer. Even her family, fearing disgrace, urged her to abandon the visions. Crowds gathered, some curious, some hostile, as Bernadette knelt unmoved by fear. She obeyed the lady's words, digging into the earth with her bare hands. Mocked as a fool, humiliated and scorned, she stood firm, holding to her faith. From the earth she dug, a spring began to flow, small, unnoticed by most. Then came the miracle. The spring water healed the sick. The spring drew pilgrims, and the village became divided between belief and doubt. Alarmed by the growing crowds, officials tried to silence her testimony. But faith had awakened. Pilgrims lit candles and walked with prayer on their lips. The lame walked, the sick were healed. The spring-gin grace could not be denied. Fearing unrest, the authorities sealed the grotto with barricades and soldiers. Her family begged her to abandon the visions, fearful of punishment. She was questioned, threatened, ridiculed, yet her answers never changed. Even in defiance of the law, the faithful returned with candles, lifting their prayers to heaven. Alone, weary, hunted by doubt, she held fast to silent faith. At her darkest hour, the Virgin appeared once more, a light in the night of despair. And so, amid mockery, threats, and pain, the spring continued to flow, a living testimony of grace. The spring flowed stronger each day, and pilgrims came seeking hope. The water healed the sick, and stories of miracles spread quickly. Pilgrims flooded into Lourdes, seeking the spring of healing. The grotto became a place of prayer, a sanctuary of hope and faith. The church began its inquiry, testing her words with patience and caution. Day after day, she returned to the grotto, humble and steadfast. The simple girl became a symbol of devotion for the people. Her story was weighed carefully, challenged at every turn. The faithful found strength in the spring, their voices united in prayer. Soon, pilgrims came from lands far beyond, drawn to the miracle of Lourdes. The church studied her words with care, cautious to affirm the vision. From distant lands they came, bearing faith and hope to the grotto. The grotto became a sanctuary, its spring a fountain of hope. Her humility impressed even the highest leaders of the church.
And what did this lady tell you, my child?
Processions filled the night, voices rising in prayer and song. The blind received sight, the crippled walked. Miracles abounded. Her witness inspired a new fervor of prayer in Lourdes. The investigation advanced, with testimonies and evidence examined carefully. Every evening, the grotto glowed with countless lights of faith. From across Europe, pilgrims journeyed to Lourdes. Drawn by faith and miracles, the church weighed her testimony with prayer and reflection. The spring became a source of hope for thousands. Her story was tested with documents, witnesses, and prayer. Every evening, the grotto became a beacon of light and devotion. Even in distant halls of power, reports of Lourdes stirred both skepticism and wonder. Soon the grotto welcomed pilgrims from all nations. United in faith, the church prepared its judgment. After years of cautious inquiry, the Springian fame spread wide, its waters a symbol of hope. The church was ready to proclaim its decision, and at last the visions of Lourdes were recognized, a triumph of faith. The church recognized the apparitions as authentic, affirming the faith of the people. From that day, Lourdes became a sanctuary of grace for all nations. Bernadette chose a life of humility, entering the convent far from glory. She embraced simple tasks, unseen by the world but watched by heaven. Her body grew frail, yet her spirit burned with unshaken faith. In weakness, she found strength, uniting her suffering with Christ. She called herself a little broom, used and then set aside by the Virgin Mary on April 16, 1879. She surrendered her soul, her smile radiant with peace. Her memory lived on, as Lourdes became a beacon for millions of pilgrims. From humble beginnings, she left a legacy that continues to shine across the world. In her final years, she carried suffering with serenity and prayer. Prayer remained her breath, her strength, her constant refuge. Her final days were filled with prayer, humility, and quiet joy. She accepted her suffering as a gift, uniting it with Christ's passion. The week, she joined the sisters in prayer and song. On April 16, 1879, Bernadette surrendered her soul with peace and trust. Her earthly journey ended, but her spirit remained with the faithful. Her life inspired countless pilgrims to return to Lourdes with faith renewed. The Basilica arose as a monument of faith, testimony of her vision. Her legacy shone in every candle lifted in prayer at Lourdes. Her humble witness became part of the church's living memory. Even today, her spirit walks among the millions who journey to Lourdes. Lourdes became a river of light. Her presence felt in every prayer. The spring she revealed still flows, a fountain of grace for the world. From poverty and suffering, Bernadette became a beacon of faith. Her legacy endures, a light for the nations.